Close enough.
15
Close
seconds.
enough. Wayne says close enough.
All right.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you got in tonight without getting wet. And hope you get out tonight without getting wet. Well, let's get started with a roll call, shall we?
Okay. Al Titus,
Here.
Don Beam, present. Mike Rushing,
Here.
Dwayne Hagel,
Here.
Mark Baranowski.
Here.
All right, everybody's present. No public hearings scheduled tonight that I'm aware of. No guest speakers that I am aware of. Citizens wishing to address the board on agenda items only. Any citizens here tonight wishing to address the board? Florence?
So concerned about Huff Road there, where that's.
I will call Brennan in the morning and we'll get a load of stone out there and fix that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other citizens wishing to address the
Can I
board?
get a load of stone too?
We're gonna, yeah, wait a couple weeks, we'll get you a couple train.
Couple weeks.
I need
He's
some
coming.
trailer loads at the golf course, just saying.
We're first on the list this year
Yeah,
in our area here,
Oh,
so.
really?
Yeah, for the
What about
limestone.
chloride, are we ever gonna get that?
Well, we gotta get the stone first,
Okay.
then we'll work on the chloride.
Okay,
And we'll talk about that a little bit in the meeting.
okay.
All right, we need a motion to, well, let's find out if there's any additions or changes to the.
I have one addition.
Agenda.
Under new business, just put Richmond Lennox EMS.
All
Richmond
right.
Lennox EMS.
Yeah, for number 5.
Any other additions?
Yeah, the KCI doing the tax bills.
All right, where do you want that under new business?
New business number 6.
All right. Any others?
I have possibly 2. I want to add summer help,
Okay,
new business,
number 7.
number 7. And Mike, did you want to add about the BSNA online payments?
Oh, sure.
BSNA on number 8.
Yeah, BSNA on number 8.
Okay. Any other additions tonight or changes to our agenda? If not, is there a?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda with the additions.
I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, let's go down to our consent agenda. Got
Yep.
meeting minutes there from April 5th,
Mhm.
treasurer's report,
Yep.
monthly AP bills.
And we're also adding the payroll for month of April to that as well.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
All right.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and support, and we need a roll call on that.
Yes, we do. Al Titus?
Yes.
Don Beam, yes. Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Township news and announcements. Do we have any?
Yeah, we want to invite everybody to help us celebrate Doug Wendling's 50 years of being with Riley Township as our building inspector.
Speech.
There will be a celebration for this milestone for him at Bell River Golf Course on Thursday, May 12th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Please come out and welcome Doug on his achievement. Thank you.
All right. We'll wait for the speech that night.
That's right.
All right.
Also, can we get on?
No, go ahead.
Any others?
I say we also got another revenue sharing check. They're starting to go down, but this one's still $52,744.
Well, it's still high, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Any other township news or announcements?
Just real quick on the township website, still a work in progress. We're getting really close to getting it published. There's still many steps to kind of go, but it's coming along really well. Really excited about how it's coming together and having this website update being more accessible for information for the township.
Yeah, I had a preview of it. Boy, it looks great.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of tedious work and stuff to do, but overall, the logistics of it and the organization of information that's there and how it's organized, I think is gonna make a big difference in how people can access the information.
Right, great. Yeah, it looks good.
Go ahead.
People are gonna be happy with it. Question?
Who puts that in there though? Was it township or you hired somebody, didn't you?
Well, we have a tech company who maintains the website and is doing the overall upgrade in the website and updating. But they also take like all of our current documents that are on our website and migrate them over into the new website. But as we're finding that, as we're doing that, a lot of our documents are old and they're copies, and they're trying to convert them into fillable forms rather than a print and record and.
Sure.
But when they're old documents, it's kind of hard to do, and that's the tedious work that we have to complete.
Okay.
But the organization of finding the records and the ordinances and the permits and the applications, and we're adding like history. We're gonna add a history page on there so people can look at the history of Riley Township, including the originating document of when Riley Township was created in 1838.
Wow.
Will be on there.
Well, Doug, were you asking who maintains it once everything's up?
Yeah, I mean, who put, the township gives this company the stuff to put in there or what?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's going to be taking place. I've been doing it because I've been learning on the fly since I started on this position. So I'm finding it easier as time kind of goes on, but the massive update, the new company that IT Right sold their services off to, which is called STG. And the upgrade package that we did with them, we can send them documents and then they will put them up on the website in the future. But we have to still tell them what to put up on the page. They're not gonna know what to put up there until we direct them to.
Right. So we still have to feed them the.
We have to
info.
feed them the information, and we have to give them the accurate information as well, and have it organized in that way.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
do you have a date of when the actual Raleigh Township started, the Raleigh Township?
Yeah, 1838. Oh, yeah, 1838.
That will be
On the document, yeah.
1838, thank you.
Yep. I think there was actually when they first started organizing it, was actually in 1837, but the state in their letter that was part of this packet that they sent to the township, they said that it was 1838 is when the official creation was made. But I think they worked on it since.
And does it have the official board members on there?
Yes, yes it does.
Chief Riley headed it up. All right, let's move on tonight.
Al, I got
yes.
one more
Sure.
thing. It's not on any of the other parts of the agenda, but
Okay.
maybe you can just make an announcement about the generators installed.
Oh,
Sure.
go ahead.
If you can state when they were installed and how they're performed.
Yeah, they're all
How
set
they're
to go. They were installed, I think, the 11th and 12th. They were finished on that Friday of that week. But they're all set to go, and all we need is a power outage. But they run periodically to be they
Okay.
test themselves.
So they came with the battery and everything?
Everything was there ready to fire up.
Where's that battery located? Is this inside the
Inside.
case or?
In the case, yeah, it's right in the case. Yeah. So yeah, they're all in and ready to
Did
fire.
you mention to him about I guess the major thing for me would be a maintenance agreement. Did you happen to talk to them?
I did ask the one tech about it, and he said, yep, they offer a maintenance program, and that they would send some info over about it.
Okay.
So we'll look at that soon,
Okay,
I'm sure.
great,
We'll
great.
have it on our agenda, and,
Good.
yeah, but,
Okay.
I
yeah,
think it's oil changes and everything.
yeah,
Right.
nice, really nice looking units, and
Yeah.
they're all set to run right
What
now.
do they gotta do yet?
Wait for the power to
Just the
go.
power to go out, that's it.
Oh.
If the power goes out tonight, it'll come right
I
back
mean, they
on.
run them already though.
Oh yeah, they've run them, they've all been tested and run, and they're ready to go.
Okay.
So yeah, next power outage, we will not be in the dark.
That's a good asset for our township then.
Well,
Yes, it is.
especially on just election day, that is a big
Exactly.
concern.
What do you do on election
Big
day if
co-
you have to
yeah.
use your power? You're in big trouble.
Especially here, it's like,
So,
whoa.
yeah, it's a great,
Yeah.
great thing. We should have had it long ago, but
Yeah.
anyway, it's here now, so, we'll see what happens.
Okay, thanks,
Oh,
Al.
that's
Yep.
right. And just one more quick blurb about, because it was in our, part of our consent agenda, the ARPA compliance report that was due April 30th. It was included in your consent agenda and has been filed by King and King without any issues.
Great. All right, any other news and announcements tonight? If not, let's move on to committee and departmental reports. Planning Commission is the first one.
Let me see, we held a meeting April 18th, and we did have a public hearing on Wiegand's annual mining permit, and that was approved, and it was quite a few people in the audience. But, couple comments, but not too bad, so that was approved for another year.
Okay,
Let me see.
Parks and Rec.
Park and Rec. Tentatively, they're working on the Fall Festival, which is September 24th. No times yet, it's just, they're starting to work on it. And the new playground equipment should be here about a couple weeks.
Great.
Well, that's about it.
All right. Thank you, Dwayne.
Al?
Yes.
On that mining, seemed like you had a lot of residents there asking questions that night, you know.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better to maybe have an engineer do that report on that?
Yeah, you and I talked about that, Doug. I thought that was a good idea to have an engineer inspect it once a year instead of our zoning guy doing it.
They do have an engineering firm that takes care of their end of it.
Do they?
But
Yeah, that's
the
what they-
township might want an independent,
We used to have, if
Or
I'm
a
not
co-
mistaken,
or-
we used to have an engineer that,
Because there's a lot of questions that
Inspected
nobody,
that.
there's no answers for.
Right.
And the engineer,
right,
I mean, probably if he was at the meeting, he could answer them, but he should have a,
yeah.
well, maybe a detailed report.
Well, I think my understanding is at the time of the application, when the application is submitted, the planning commission can bring forward if they want to have a engineering survey done prior to
Right.
approving the application. I believe that's the process.
Okay.
Because the bond that they pay at the time of the application is what's used to pay for any such
Right.
engineering survey.
You know,
Yeah,
And
we'll
not the
look into the
township.
history of that a little bit, because I think we did have an engineer involved at one time, and I'm
Yeah,
not
I've
sure if
seen
it was
it.
just because there was a problem or a concern, but we did have an
Yeah.
engineer, we've had engineers out there before the township has.
Yeah.
But not on a regular basis like Doug is suggesting for an annual inspection of sorts. So, we'll check into it, Doug, and see if,
Well, I mean, because like I say, there's,
Yeah,
it's had a lot of questions that nobody could answer.
Right.
There's quite a few people.
right, yeah, there was,
One more quick question with
Sure.
Parks and Rec. Did we get that extra equipment ordered?
It's, yes. Well, and the
Because we got
new
the
stuff,
additional 12 grand for the grant.
the new equipment should be here in a couple weeks, but now they're working on some other new equipment. That was the last meeting, they were looking through books and stuff, and they're saying, I want this,
Yeah.
so.
yeah, there's a lot of decisions to make.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that was the equipment from last year that was ordered.
Well, 'cause
Right?
they had like a small bid, and they said
Correct.
if we got the additional funding from the Community Foundations grant, that we get the second half of it.
Right.
I just wonder if anybody looked into getting that, or
I
if
know
we're gonna modify
Deanna
it, or.
and Kathy were talking about it at the meeting.
'Cause I know we got the
how far
check,
that-
so it's in the account, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see it went up quite a
they
bit.
got more money to spend is what
Yeah,
you're
I told
saying,
them,
Mike.
start spending it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they got some big ideas,
Good, good, they got the money to spend now.
you know.
Okay, great. All right, anything else, there that we, need to discuss before we get through the committee reports?
no ZBA.
No ZBA meeting, okay. How about, OEO, do we have a report here tonight?
Yeah, I have copies I brought today.
Okay. All right, we can look that over. I don't think there's any residents present tonight that were requested by letter to be here. I don't see anyone. What about the building department? Anything on that tonight?
No, just what, if Doug had
Doug, you
any.
got anything for us tonight?
No, just, we got a lot of inquiries and well, we're waiting for the weather to break now a little bit, so.
Okay,
Don't have no bonnet lithium starting yet, but we will.
okay. Have you issued any permits for those yet?
Yes.
One?
We got one.
Okay.
Yeah, we got one
Okay,
going.
so there'll be one in the works soon.
Yeah.
All right, good, I'm anxious to see what they look like, what this one looks like. All right, anything under fire protection tonight? I don't have anything.
I did not receive anything from Jeff this month or last month, so I don't have any updates.
All right, what about roads? We'll get to those later, won't we?
Yep.
All right, order of business. Unfinished business. Number one, road commission projects and work orders. We have a work order in front of us tonight in our packet from the road commission. And that means they want more money from us, of course.
Yeah, we got the letter included in your packet, the letter that was received on April, that they issued on April 6th that we received, stating that we were gonna be getting these, updated work orders.
And what they're asking for is an additional $6,000+ as a fuel surcharge to get our stone out here delivered onto our gravel roads. I guess this is sounding to me like in the letter, this was an unexpected cost that was pushed to the road commission, and of course they just sent it to us. So if we want our stone, we gotta pay an extra $6,000 in fuel charges to get it out here.
Yeah, from looking at the letter, it says they were informed by the shipping companies that a fuel surcharge will be added to their costs.
All right. Any questions about that? The letter pretty much explains it. The total, yeah, I'm looking for the total on it, $6,217, $6,217.75. So we need board action on that tonight, do we not?
Yes, we do, because this is an 85 cents per unit on the 7315 ton. That's the fuel surcharge. So which is a total of $6,217.75 on top of what we approved at last month's meeting for work order number 21080.
So it actually is 85 cents a ton additional.
Yes.
Okay.
You raise the stone price then too?
No, it was just a fuel, I think.
The fuel surcharge, because the diesel fuel, when you go all over everywhere, is like $1 more a gallon that's being charged. I know when I ran up to Michigan Tech, all up and through like the mid-Michigan and everything, it was $5.50 a gallon just for diesel.
Yeah. Terrible.
That's why everything's going up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not just
It is.
food,
Absolutely.
They're on interest rates.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the other work order, I think he explained, I think it actually went down a little bit compared to what we approved on that one.
Which
So
work order, Tom?
the next page
The limestone hall?
on the 80/20,
24,000 on them.
on the 80/20.
Okay, the 80/20 hall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you look, because I made copies of what we approved at last month's meeting in your packet. So the first page you're going to see the change, and then the next page you're going to see what we approved.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see what we approved and what the changes explained on here. So on the 80/20 limestone hall, the amount due from the township is $49.41 So it's not much of a decrease, but it's just a overall change.
Sure.
So we approved last month $49.91. So what is that, $50 difference less? Not much, but
We'll
it
take
is a
it.
change compared to the 6,200 that they're increasing us on the other.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I'll make a motion to, I know we have two motions here. I'll make a motion to approve St. Clair County Road Commission 2022 Limestone Hall and work order number 21080, additional amount of $6,217.75.
I'll second it.
All right. We have motion and support. If there's no further discussion, I will ask Don to do a roll call.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Al Titus?
Yes.
Don Beam, yes.
Motion carried. Is that the only road contract we needed to act on tonight?
We should officially, even though it's a little bit of a change, so we should still make a motion on it because it is a change in the original work order that we approved.
Okay.
So I think we still should make a motion to approve the change in order.
All right, is there a motion to change that? Approve that change? Mark had mentioned a second motion.
Yeah, I'll make, I'll make that motion. Work order, number 811796, adjusted amount for the St. Clair County Road Commission limestone 8020, limestone haul. And our amount due is $4,941.20.
That's correct.
Okay.
The motion is just to change, is it not?
Yes.
To approve the change.
I'll second it.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Okay, if not, then let's go ahead and vote.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Al Titus?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
John Beam, yes.
Motion carried. All right, is that all we have on the road commission project tonight?
Yes.
I think so.
All right, I don't think we have any blank cases tonight. And the next would be the, Doug, you had a question?
On the Blake cases, you were asking about, or talking about that, for the violations, for the fees for the violations.
Civil infraction?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're looking at that again. In fact, I took all the information over to Mr. Vickery. He's looking at it again, but he's asked me to contact some of the surrounding townships and find out if any of our surrounding townships use the civil infraction ordinance and process. We put it in place years ago here, but we've never really used it. Paul Wilson only used it once,
yeah.
and it didn't work well, and there were reasons for that, but I found out yesterday that Berlin Township does use it, but that's because their ordinance officer likes to use it, and he's the one that follows through on that process. But I'm gonna check with Richmond, Wales, Columbus, some of those, and see if they actually use it or not. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork.
It is a lot of paperwork, and
Yeah.
generally the ordinance enforcement officer has to step up and say, this is something I wanna use, and so, he's the one that handles all the paperwork between him and the attorney, and Mr. Vickery said it's a lot of work, it really is, there's a lot more to it.
You gotta keep track of all them.
Yeah, and then we may have to go back and amend some of our ordinances, before we get into that, if we chose to move in that direction, but, anyway, I'm gonna do some checking and then we'll see what the board wants to do with that.
Oh, because we had the whole section of all the violations, how much it was, the first one, second one, so on, you know.
Yes, it increases as time
Yeah.
goes on. One of the problems you have is collecting the money. You know, you have to chase them for the money often, and it keeps occurring, but still you have to get it. And so it's complicated. There's nothing simple about it. And I think that's why Paul never cared to use it. And a lot of the ordinance enforcement officers don't use it. So
Well,
anyway,
it's costing money, township money for
It is.
all this
it is,
enforcement, you know.
absolutely.
I'm gonna say, well, if we just use it as kinda like a tool, like, all right, we'll waive your fees if you get it done by X date.
Yeah.
Cause
I'm
then
not
it's like
sure.
you go to court, it's like, all right, you owe $1,000 in fines, they'll at least cover our lawyer fees.
Well, the way it stands now with our blight cases is that once we finish those cases, if they don't pay our costs, our attorney fees, our expenses to clean up the property, whatever we've incurred, then we can lien their property with those expenses. But again, Bob's looking at it, but he's not excited about it. He says that, again, we're gonna have to amend the ordinance itself. Don, you've looked at it with me as well. We're gonna have to amend the ordinance itself, it's outdated, and all the forms that Paul had intended to use, those have all gotta be updated as well, so there's quite a bit of work on our end to be able to get it in place, so that we could even use it if we wanted to, but we'll look at it hard, and if it looks like something that might be of benefit to the township, then we'll move in that direction.
How many cases do we take to court? I mean, this last year or a year or so?
Yeah, not many, Doug. I'd say on average it might be 3 a year, and that wouldn't probably even be, some years we don't even have that many, but it's gonna increase because
Oh, yeah.
the cases here, violations are way up. And, so it's gonna increase. He's got, I think our attorney has 3 that he's working on, 3 or 4 that he's working on right now. So it looks like we're gonna have more this year than we've had in the past.
Yeah, but there's a resident, the ones that are violation, do they pay the court cost and attorney fees then, or what?
Yeah, we can hold them responsible for all of our attorney's fees and all the court costs. The court will make them pay the court costs.
Do they pay it?
Well, they have to, or they'll,
Yeah.
you know, they'll issue a bench warrant for their arrest. So, yeah, they have to pay that. And then if they don't pay our expenses, then, of course, again, we can lien their property. And we'll get our money
Might
eventually.
take 20 years, we'll get it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long it takes, we'll get it. So, Florence, did you have a question?
Yes, our ordinance officer still working on the piles of junk cars that are around the area.
I think that one over by you is one that has just been turned over to the attorney.
Oh, good, I'm
So,
glad to see some
I
action
think it's in
coming.
his hands now.
Cause I was concerned about that, it's still, the
Yeah,
junk
no.
cars are still there.
No, we're moving forward on it,
Okay, thank you.
so you're welcome. All right, anything else, under, ordinance? I don't have any blank complaint cases, I have nothing. If not, then we'll move ahead to lawn care bids tonight, number 3 under unfinished business. How many bids do we have, Dawn?
2.
2,
We
okay.
have 2 bids in your packet.
Yeah, I called Stafford and they submitted one as well. Okay, I see them now. Connington's and Stafford.
Mhm.
I'm sure the board's had a chance to look at these. What do we want to do with this? We need to get somebody out here ASAP.
Yeah.
The grass is
We'll be
growing.
cutting next week for sure.
Yeah. So, and I did talk to Dick Ellis again. He has scaled back, so he will not be submitting a bid to us this year.
I kinda like Connington, and they're cutting grass, $50 cheaper.
Yeah, I like his price.
You figure how many weeks summer lasts,
Yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah.
that would probably pay for our summer, spring fling.
I'm kind of looking forward to trying someone new, which would be Coddington in the area. We
Yeah, I
had Stafford before. I'm not really familiar
this-
with their service.
I think I talked to this guy before, this Connington's lawn care. And I think he put a couple snow removal bids in also. Then we got one of these from him last year, I think. I talked to him personally, I think last year. That's all you can do is submit it, see what
Yeah.
happens.
So he's right in our area here, is he not?
Yep, right in Masters
Road
Road.
here?
Yep.
Okay,
He also says if you pay up front, full amount, you get 5% off the total contract.
okay.
And this is for a weekly cutting, 4.5 acres at $250 per cut. So I think we put in our specs at a minimum of once a week. So that means if they do come out and if we have a wet season again, we may need 2 cuts per week.
That's pretty seldom, I think. Dick generally cut
Every
once a
Friday,
week.
yeah.
Right, but there was
But
a couple times that we
there
did
can be a
ask them
time
because
in
it was
early
bad.
In the season, if it really rains, that
Yeah.
it has to be cut twice, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Connington is $250,
Mhm.
and Stafford was $300 per cutting.
Mhm.
So,
Is
and we,
Alice not doing it no more this year, then he didn't put a bid in?
no, he's not interested in it this year.
Okay, thank
He's
you.
cutting back, but, I did talk to Stafford, and they never have done our lawn. They did our snow removal. one
Oh,
year,
the snow
but
removal,
they
is that what
haven't
it
done
is?
our grass.
Okay.
So, but I agree with Mike, I think we should go with the cheapest bid we have here, and, hopefully it'll go well, we'll see.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we go with Connington Lawn Care for our lawn services this year.
All right, is there support?
I'll second.
All right, no motion and support. Whenever Dawn's ready, we'll do the roll call.
Okay. Mike Rushing,
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel,
Yes.
Mark Baranowski.
Yes.
Don Beam, yes. Al Titus.
Yes, motion carried. All right, board and administrative policies manuals, chapters 1 through 3. This is an
Yes.
ongoing process and work.
This was tabled from last meeting that that I've been working on. Like I said, I explained last meeting from day one. It's incorporating all of our current policies and putting them into a new format. Making it a little bit easier to locate the information in a more organized way. So all of our current policies are in place. So if you see in the one sheet, it basically is where I listed all the ones that would be rescinded in replacement of this. Those are all incorporated in that. So I would like to know, did everyone have a chance to go through it?
It's a work in
Look through-
progress.
Yeah, I looked through it quite a bit, I don't know, a
Okay.
couple weeks ago.
Good. And how did you find it?
I like it.
Okay.
Yep, so far, yep.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like it too, though.
I think we can,
I mean, it covers a lot.
I think in this particular format, we can actually move to adopt and initiate this, and then as each chapter gets developed, amend each chapter in. Because it is a work in progress, and it's gonna take a great deal of time, but we can actually, these first three chapters are basically the initializing of how does the township board function and all the committees and stuff. It's really going to help organize planning commission members, how public hearings are held, what the township authority is. It's the basis of our administrative policies. It's a start.
Very positive, I think.
Yeah.
We need this
Yeah.
update.
We have several different chapters. I foresee there's gonna be probably 8 chapters, once it's fully completed, but I think we can adopt them and rescind the current policies as we go along,
Yeah.
each chapter by chapter.
So these first 3 chapters, is it similar to the old one?
There is no old one. So
That's-
there's an employee handbook.
Okay.
And this is the issue and why I'm doing this, because there was an employee handbook that was put together. So that was put together with the current policies as an employee handbook, but and adopted as a policy on its own, but didn't rescind the other policies, so you have redundancy, you have duplication.
Yeah.
So, in this format, there will be a chapter on personnel administration. So when we get to chapter 5, this will replace the employee handbook, once we get to chapter 5,
Yeah.
basically.
It'll eliminate a lot of.
It'll eliminate a lot of confusion. So we have new board members coming on, planning commission, ZBA or whatever, and they need to know about their role.
Right,
Chapters 1 through 3 will help them establish their role.
yeah.
The next chapter, chapter 4, is financial administration, which is mainly the 3 of us. How we conduct the financial administration for the township. So it's loosely put together, so there's still a lot of fine tunings to work on, but I think we need to bite this off one chapter at a time.
I agree.
Chapter 5 is personnel. Chapter 6 is records management, which is mainly my domain. Chapter 8 is property management, which is the township property, and how that's handled, including assets, inventory, let's see here, property maintenance, smoking policy, security, stuff like that. And then I was going to add a chapter 9, which is going to be strictly relating to the building department. There isn't one, that's going to have to be one that started from scratch, initiating by the current policies that we have for the building department and putting them in this type of format by scratch, which is, building department is its own animal, and that's going to take a lot more time to really get into this kind of format. But I think we should start with this now. I think tonight, if we approve chapters 1 through 3, that there is one change in light of the discussion concerning civil infractions that we can remove out of chapter 2, which is the very last segment, 233, which is our current municipal civil infractions policy. We can remove that from this policy and not rescind our current policy until we decide what we want to do, because we can amend it in later if we choose to.
Sure.
Or what we decide to do with regarding municipal civil infractions.
It's gonna give guidance, especially to those, like, as you mentioned, that are coming in, new people coming in our planning commission, zoning board of appeals,
Mhm.
park and rec. And we've needed that for a long time.
Mhm.
We put people in place, and the only way they can learn is by sitting there on the,
Right.
on the meeting, in the
Yeah,
meetings.
they don't know what their job is supposed to do.
Right, they don't have the direction that they need, so.
Yeah, exactly. And right in here now, we have a new member coming in, we can basically give them chapters, 1 through 3, and they know exactly the basis of what needs to happen
Right, what's expected of them.
and what's expected.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. I think we're overdue on this. It'll give more guidance and direction, and less confusion.
So you need a motion to approve the first 3 chapters?
The first 3 chapters I would like to, but in light of those 3 chapters, because right now as it stands, I want to remove section 2.33 relating to the municipal civil infractions that's currently in it.
Okay, so go ahead and make that motion.
You want to make that motion, Dwayne?
Sure.
Okay, I'll second it.
All right. We have a motion and support. Any further discussion? You want just a general vote on this, not a roll call?
Since it's the policy, I want a roll call.
Okay. When in doubt, roll it out.
That's
what
right,
MT
that's
is.
right.
I like that.
Dwayne Hagel.
Yes.
Don Beam, yes. Al Titus.
Yes.
Mike Rushing.
Yes.
Mark Baranowski.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, I'd like to make a motion to rescind the following policies. Policy number 9, Construction Board of Appeals. Policy number 11, Planning Commission. Policy number 15, Appeals of Land Division Denials. Policy number 20, Rules for Public Input. Policy number 32, Board of Review Procedures. Policy number 33, Parks and Rec Committee.
Skip 28.
I did, because we're not gonna rescind that, we're rescinding it in the new one, not the current one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oops, where was I?
Now you're on 34.
Okay, policy number 34, Zoning Board of Appeals. Policy number 37, Township Board of Conduct. And policy number 38, Ethics.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a motion and support. Motion was carried on the last one. So
Yes.
This was the only one here that we have to vote on yet.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, Don Beam, yes. Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Al Titus?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion carried.
If we can real quick, circle back to the lawn care bid.
Sure.
Just did the math real quick. It's for 26 weeks worth of cuts. It's gonna come up to $6,500, but if we choose to pay it all up front, we'll save $325 for a total of $6,175.
Would we wanna do that where we're not sure how many cuts he's gonna do?
Yeah, it's not
Um,
a big enough number for me to really jump on.
Okay.
But there may be weeks that we might have, 1 or 2 cuttings a week, if it stays wet as it is. And
we
stuff,
might,
which that wouldn't make any difference,
we might wanna see how he works.
yeah.
If he works well for us,
Mhm.
Sometimes you get somebody in and they
Especially
don't show
somebody
when they're supposed
new.
to show, and it's like, boy,
Yeah.
the grass is getting taller, and so, yeah.
Where's he from? Where's he located?
Right at Masters Road?
Masters Road here, Coddington.
12503 Masters Road.
Coddington? There were Coddingtons in Memphis for years, and Jack Coddington used to do a lot of.
Is that a relative?
I think so. I haven't spoken with him yet, but the name isn't that common. I think it must be a relative. So, yeah, I don't know. We could certainly consider what Mike suggested.
That the one used to plow snow for us?
No, I don't think he's ever plowed any snow for us, not to my knowledge. So we wanna wait on that, Dawn, then you think, on,
And what?
what does the board wanna do with paying that up front? You wanna just pay it week by week and see how it goes?
Weekly is fine,
Okay,
or not weekly, monthly,
monthly, however we pay.
it's paid monthly for the weekly cuts.
Okay. Good thought though, Mike, he's trying to save us.
I know. If it was a bit more,
All right, what do we need to do next here? New
Okay.
business?
New business.
Trash removal annual public hearing.
Yep.
We just need a motion to set this public hearing.
Correct, because we need to include it in our tax bills, our summer tax bills.
Right, correct.
So we want to schedule this trash removal, it's the annual public hearing on the special assessment. I do want to make a note. Oops, here, let me find my, where is it? Here it is.
So you'll be asking just for a date.
We're scheduling the public hearing, yes, and in the you have a copy of the public hearing notice. But I am showing that the rate for the per amount is going to be increasing in according with their contract. So our current contract for 2022 is $172.20, which was on the last year's tax bill. So for the next tax bill coming up, it would, or not, no, how does that work?
For 2023.
Yeah, for 2023, it's increased to $173.16. So not a large increase, but that is in accordance with their contract that we signed.
Yeah, I don't know how they can keep it that minimum.
Yeah, with the
cost
fuel.
of fuel.
Well, they're bound to our contract, and we have a 3-year contract with them.
But isn't there a window in there, or an option in there where they can raise it due to fuel?
Well, those are the kids that took it over.
I thought there was a clause in there that said they could raise it because of the fuel costs went up, but either way, it's very minimal for the way fuel costs have skyrocketed, so what do you need from the board tonight, Dawn?
Yep.
Just a motion on?
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to schedule the special assessment trash removal annual public hearing to be held on Tuesday, November 1st, 2022 at 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and support.
Yep.
Do you want a roll call on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. All right, office phones update.
Yeah.
We need some updating on those phones. Every time I try to call, it's busy.
Yeah, well, it's been a bit of a challenge trying to find and locate a company to update our phones. Mainly because it's kind of like the best energy that I can think of is, remember back in the day when cell phones first kind of came out and it was all analog, or our TVs were all analog signal and everything all switched over to digital. Well, that's kind of what's happening here. And we can't find anybody. We have landlines, which is an analog system. The big change, especially when it comes to business phones, is it's all, the acronym is VoIP, Voice over Internet. Well, we can't support internet
Yeah,
phones
so 4.
because our service for the internet is so low. We only have, at best, 20 megabytes per second, which handles our office internet service sufficiently. But if you add a phone service onto that, you can't. So it took us some real digging over the last few months trying to locate a company that would actually keep our landline phones. But what it is this box that our switchover box, if the handle of the phone lines is a converter. So it's like your TV set converter that we used to have. And that's the biggest chunk that it's part of this quote. So there's a lot of options with it. We'll be able to still use bits and pieces of it over the internet, but the actual service itself is still going to be landline, and it converts it over to digital. Frontier, we can have, under the business line contract, we slashed the monthly payments in half, and we can add 2 lines for the current cost of what we were paying. So we technically have 5 lines, which will allow us to have more phone calls coming in. The issue that we've been having is we get busy. I'm in the office, Mike's in the office, both girls are in the office. Well, we only have 2 active lines and a fax machine. Well, guess where caller number 3 is going? To the fax machine or a busy signal.
Yeah.
So we can add, 2 additional lines, have 5 lines all together. So that way we can at least answer calls without them going to the to the fax machine, put them on hold, and take care of them, instead of wondering, are they ever gonna get through to us?
Yeah.
So
This is more technology, isn't it?
it is more technology. We're not gonna be able, with this system, be able to use all the functions. I think it's just too much for what we need to have. We don't need to use all the facets and stuff about it and the capabilities about it. We basically just want to be able to not have people go over to the fax machine, and some added features. And we want to be able to transfer internal phone calls between phones, which we can't do right now. So right now, if I have a phone call, I'm in my office, the girls either yell down from one end of the office to the other end of the office, or they get up and walk all the way back and say, Dawn, so-and-so's on the phone for you. Can you answer it? So this new system will be able to transfer phones. There is another thing too that, if we wanted to go this route, this system has the capability where if we wanted to continue using our personal phones and stuff, we can actually have it. This is where the whole internet thing kind of comes through. They were telling me about, but they can still have it come through our phone line system. And so that way, if I'm using my personal phone to conduct office business, it'll still show up as Riley Township. So that way, no one would have my personal phone information, let's say, on their caller ID kind of thing. So it has some capabilities about it, but I'm still like, I don't, I use my personal phone for township business when I am home, but when I am in the office, I like to use. But there's times where I have to use my cell phone because I'll be on the phone on support services for an hour, 2 hours, and then if I'm on the business phone, that's when everybody starts getting on busy signal, anybody calling in.
I know I use my cell phone about 95% of the time.
Right, but see, if we have, with the upgrade,
So that's all it is, just this box, this blue box?
that box, but it's the whole
What?
phone system changed too. So each of our individual phone consoles would be changed too.
They're like
Yeah,
To,
90s.
like this one, this,
Not like, that's the upgraded
It's a
one.
major overhaul.
It's overhauling everything. So if you look at the actual, let me find the breakdown.
oh,
We
okay.
have eight phones altogether. So 3 of them will be a little bit higher end of them, which would be the 2 office girls and mine. And then the other ones who are planted around will be the other ends.
So basically, like,
Yes, it's that one.
that's
Yeah,
the basic.
three of these
Three of those.
and the rest of
Okay.
those. Yeah, so, yep. And it's like, I know they have like 3 different models, but it's this P320, which is the first one, and this P310.
Okay.
Yep,
So all the phones would be changed
Yep.
throughout there.
correct.
To be compatible with this system.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the
Yeah,
other,
it's on
I
this
questioned him.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and each of the phones actually have to have this subscription, which is part of the higher cost. This software registration, one time, that's $1,000. I'm like, why is that so steep? And he's like, it's required for the box because you're converting from analog to digital. It's not just the box, but you also have to have that software.
Now, is that like licensing where you gotta pay every year? Or just
It
once in a
says
lifetime?
one time.
Okay.
It says one time, so it's a one-time cost.
Yeah, I had a question concerning the price.
Mm-hmm.
Certain, Al, do you know the dollar amount where, I know we specified anything over a certain dollar amount, we have to get multiple bids, but
I
on
did.
this, we can't.
I did actually. See, this was the only one that, like I said, the other bids, we couldn't get anybody that could do
To do what we needed to
what
be
we
done.
needed to be done, keeping our landlines. I do have 2 other bids, but they were all voice over internet, which we can't use.
Right.
Well,
Yeah, and
Thinking
this,
about that, could we possibly look into doing like the Skylink? I got my dish. I absolutely love it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll take about a year and a half for us to get the equipment, but if we put the $100 deposit in, we'd get on the waiting list.
Is this a contract, and how long is the contract?
Well, this
Annual?
is a one-time purchase.
Okay.
This is a one-time purchase,
So once we
basically. But with
purchase
Frontier,
it,
with the
we
phone
own it.
lines, with Frontier, now that's a contract.
Yeah,
So that's for the next 2 years.
okay.
And we could use ARPA funds on it.
on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Yeah.
Often the office
Get her
gals call me,
Yeah, so
Leave
there's
me a
no monthly
voicemail.
charges after this.
and every time I call back,
Fax
the lines
machine.
are busy.
I always get the
Or it
fax
goes to the
machine.
fax machine, one or the other.
So I
Yeah,
had
I've
to
gotten
get
the
Pat's
fax.
personal cell phone. I was like, I'm calling you.
I know.
That's crazy.
Well,
So
and,
we need to
and
do
the,
something with
the
it.
township office phones were on more of like a personal home account instead of the business account. And then when I found out that that could be, the cost could be switched over to a business account with, at half the cost, yeah, that's a no-brainer. And then, okay, then we can add the 2 lines, but didn't realize that our current phone system can't handle the 5 lines.
Yeah.
Right now, it's only capable to handle the 3 lines, so we have to have this to have all 5 lines capable.
Yeah, we can always look ahead to what Mike's talking about, but we need a fix for this now.
Concerning that, once we install the main box, that's gonna take care of this phone in here also? Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, all-
all the phones in the
They're
entire,
all gonna get replaced too.
All replaced.
They
Yeah,
have to have
yeah.
new equipment to work
Right.
with this new
Okay.
new plan. so.
Yep.
oh, yeah.
And we can pay for it like was already mentioned with the ARPA funds. So
Okay.
the total cost is $5,826. That's a one-time cost.
Do they maintain that, or how does that work on that?
Yes,
They maintain that?
I believe so.
Well, it says contract length is 12 months.
Right, it's a 1 year.
Right.
So if anything
1
happens
year.
to the phones within the first month, or the first year.
Okay.
So is this, when this renews in a year, would it be the same cost, or would it be higher? Or
If we choose to, I mean, really, basically, this
might
is just
look at
for a
something else
support.
at that time.
Yeah, this is more like the software, any software issues or
IT question.
IT and,
So
yeah.
basically, as long as it works, it'd be fine. But let's say in 10 years,
If
15 years,
anything's-
like a TV, if it burns out.
Well,
we'll be in the same
technology is
boat,
gonna
find a
change.
new one.
Yeah,
But
technology.
hopefully, we'll have our new internet by then.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because we can't do anything until, because everything is all voice over internet. All the phone companies that we contacted to try to get quotes from, to get it over, were all voice over internet quotes.
well, I think we need to move forward on this. I know there's a problem there for sure with the phone system. What does the board wanna do tonight?
Yeah,
I like the idea.
I do too.
especially we
We
use
gotta improve it,
ARPA money.
yeah. Now's the time to do it, and we can use that money instead of
I'll make a motion
residents.
to approve Sangoma. Is that how you pronounce it?
Sangma.
Sangma. Yeah. They're actually through Wired Right Technologies, if you see
Yeah,
this.
right here.
Yeah, I see that on the cover, Wide Right Technology.
These-
That's what you want, how you wanna word it, right there.
I'll
I
make a-
always read right from here when I make them.
That's why I do
That's a
it.
good one. I'll make a motion to accept and approve quote received from Wired Right Technologies LLC to update the township phone system at a one-time cost of $5,826.62 using ARPA funds.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? I have no questions.
Okay. Roll call.
Whenever you're ready, Don.
Dwayne Hagel,
Yes.
Mark Baranowski.
Yes.
Don Beam, yes. Al Titus,
Yes,
Mike Rushing.
Yes.
motion carried. All right, we've got some more stuff here on our new business, Community Shred Day event. We're looking at
Yeah.
a Community Shred Day event in conjunction with another township.
Yeah, so looking into how many boxes, we go through so many boxes that we pull and need to be destroyed every year. So now when I came in June, we had like 12 boxes that were already ready to be destroyed. Now that we're at the beginning of our next fiscal term, we have another 12 boxes. So we have a total of 22 boxes that are ready to be destroyed, records. So my thought was, like, I don't know if like most other people, I have personal things to be shred at home too. Many times bank documents, medical records, anything like that. Instead of burning them, why I would like to hold a more community open event. We can hold it in a couple of different ways. I kind of reached out to a couple of the area townships who are attached around us to see if they might be interested in joining us in a community event, we can host it. The quotes that I've gotten from a couple of different companies, they were pretty much about the same. For a community event, it would be like, about $1,000 per, that was a minimum, and then they go by hour, if you go beyond that.
So like $3.50 an hour or something?
Yeah, 300 was one, and the other one was 350.
3 hour minimum?
3 hour, this
Get
one
them on
actually was
site.
like a 4 hour because they included their drive time to
Okay.
get out here. So, but it was pretty much, Extreme Shreds actually was the lower it was the lower end for the 3 hours. And then the other one, they wanted 350 per hour with a minimum of 3 hours and didn't include their drive time. And they were, let's see here. Yeah, this was one I contacted out of Port Huron, but they just, the company itself may not necessarily be out of Port Huron.
So this would be a community thing.
We could do a couple different things. We could either pay for it with upfronts as a community service, and I would say that we would need to verify that they are part of our residence because using proof of residency. Wales Township is interested in joining us. The other ones were not interested. Couldn't get a hold of another one, so I could try and reach out to them again up in Emmett Way to see if they might be interested. And we can even do it a couple of different ways. If we wanted to offer this as a public service to them, or we can charge them by a box to help offset some of the cost of it. Or cover it all up front. It doesn't matter to me. We can handle it either way. And then we would have to work it out with the other area townships of how to split the cost. Because my concern is okay, well, wait a minute. What if, because they brought in, if we go over the 3 hours kind of thing. Pretty much each bin that they shred at a time handles 16 to 20 small copy boxes. That's a lot. And stuff. So they told me, what was it? I forget how many. Yeah, so to do one bin, it takes 5 minutes. So I don't foresee us going over three hours, just because we can either say bring it at this time, and then we have them start shredding. So if they can do one bin every 5 minutes, we're not going to go over if we organize it correctly. And then we can calculate out how many each township does.
Yeah. Wales would be
Yeah.
willing to split
Maybe
the
Wales-
cost.
Right, I haven't really worked out the details
Yeah.
of how to split it with them, but if they're willing to go in, we can work out those details.
Sure.
But I would like to at least get a motion to organize it and get it scheduled so we can include it on our newsletter. It's going to be going out into the, and get it and contact them to schedule it because I'm looking for in August after the election.
Is that the name of the company, Extreme Shreds?
Yes.
I think that's the one that does all of our stores.
No,
Okay.
as far as with their truck, after they can shred one thing every 5 minutes, is it possible they're gonna fill that truck up? Kinda like when we do,
I don't
Like a
think
dumpster?
so. I don't think so.
I've just never used one before, so I just,
Yeah. When we did the
That
tire,
one-
the tire day,
Oh, gosh.
I think we cleaned up the whole county.
Yeah.
Well, I had someone called just the other day, asked about tires, and I said, yeah, no, that was a one-time thing, contact the
I
county
got a couple
drum.
calls.
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm
so
like,
did I.
we need to verify the residency in order for them to bring it in.
It doesn't matter. Even if you do
Yeah.
that, people, oh,
hey,
yeah.
Billy, come bring your stuff over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we'll bring it down.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's a lot of work to do that if you have really a lot
It is
to
a lot of
do,
work.
so
I'd like
it's a lot to
see it,
haul.
Provided at no cost to the
Say, I
residents.
got a
Yeah.
couple hundred tires I inherited with the golf course.
Couple hundred? Wow.
They went to an auction, they bought all the stuff, and it's like, these are all scrap. And my superintendent's like, that's what I said, but he's got such a good deal on them. So it just stacks and stacks. I was like, Like, yeah,
So,
I'm gonna
yeah, I'd like to see us initiate this tonight and get it in the works.
And get it scheduled, because that's the
Yeah.
thing, I have to reach out to them too, to find out what they have available, and I'm hoping for in August, and if they can't do August,
After the
September, yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to schedule it.
Appointments for people to shred, come and shred this stuff?
Yeah, we gotta work out the details, but yeah, we'll put it in the newsletter, about it, and then how to, if you're interested in bringing things, how are you gonna do that? And, how are you gonna show proof of residency? We'll get all that organized.
I make a motion to schedule a 2022 Community Shred Day event and approve quote to receive from Extreme Shreds Community Shred Agreement at an estimated cost of $1,000 using ARPA funds.
Is there support for that motion?
Yep.
I'll second that.
All right. Any other discussion? Okay. You wanna
Mhm.
roll call vote on that?
Yeah. Okay, Mike Rushing,
Yes.
Mark Baranowski.
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel.
Yes.
Al Titus.
Yes.
Don Beam, yes.
Motion carried. Number 4, we have video conference equipment. It was suggested some time ago by the planning commission that we get a big screen, use some of the ARPA money to get a big screen that we could mount in here and do our training, whatever kind of training we need to do, right here. Instead of traveling to Port Huron or Frankenmuth or wherever else we might have to go for the MTA trainings or required trainings, annual training for the planning commission members or zoning board members. So Don's been looking into that. actually.
Yeah, I contacted IT Right, because it is, technology, of course, that has to be installed. And this is who they recommended. So I contacted them, took some pictures, and they came back with this quote for us. Now, there's 2 different ways that they can install. You'll see if you can go outside of the wall with the wires or inside of the wall. So to install inside of the wall, there's an additional $500 onto that quote.
They're not gonna wanna go inside these walls.
No, no.
This old building, they.
Well, that's what I
actually
figured.
did, an awful time in these walls.
Right, right.
Surface mount.
Yep. So that's why he said optional on the quote there, so.
You can
'Cause-
save $500 on that.
Yep, exactly. So then if it's going to be outside of the wall, then the quote is for $3,584.
Yeah,
My other thought too was the quote is 85-inch Sony television. And I also, from Best Buy, that was what he was giving me the price on. So I also went on like Sam's Club to kind of look to try and find the specs of those types of TVs that were. And Sam's Club direct purchase for just the TV itself is about $1,600, $200 less. I didn't ask them, if we can get the TV a little bit cheaper. I did not ask them on that. But it might be a possibility to save a little bit more money on it. When I went on Best Buy, I tried to locate the TV, to look at the specs and everything a little bit more on it. This description is really vague it says Sony, but Sony has umpteen million different ones.
Yeah.
So, but they were all more than $1,800.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I don't know. So if he gets a discount on his end, through Best Buy at that price, the quota's at that price, I don't know.
He might.
He might.
Yeah, I'd let him, if we choose to go with this, I'd let him do all of it.
Okay.
That's just
It
my
doesn't
thought.
matter, yeah.
Let him, he knows what kind of a TV he wants to. that will
Yeah,
work
and I
well
gave him
with
an
his
idea of
other
what we were kind of looking at, how we wanted to access the TV and what certain functions that we needed and how are we going to connect to it in different ways and how we were going to utilize it, whether it was for webinars and training with everybody, and also plus for public meetings to display during public meetings of information, and we can even utilize it during the elections as well too, to post not voting information, but general information
Yeah, I
to
think
the
it's a good
public.
idea, especially, I think planning commission would really get good use out of it.
Oh, I think so too.
I think so too, especially
And
with
it's,
their
a
hearings.
couple planning commissioners going there this week and then 2 more next week.
Yeah, and it's
They
just the
come
cost
here,
of traveling and
We
being
make a meeting
somewhere else
date,
when you
and
can
then
sit right
all
here
planning
and do
commission
it.
members can watch it right here. Done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
come
what
an
we
hour
do.
early before your meetings or stay an hour later after the
It was,
meetings, and it's
Doug Pratt's idea, and I thought it was a great
Yeah.
idea.
And yeah, you approached me on it a while ago, but I just didn't have the time with everything else going on and getting the ARPA thing done and the budget in place, so.
Yeah.
I finally had time to like, okay, let's update this,
Yeah, I
update
think
this.
it'd be
Get
a
caught
huge
up.
benefit
I think so
for
too.
all
You
of
think
Oh, yeah.
85 inch is a little too big?
Well, I sent them pictures, and that's why I wanted the specs of the TV, trying to locate the specs, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So if you see on the, did I give you
Let's say I
the
just hung
picture?
a dozen 65s there at the golf course.
Yeah.
And I can see those all the way across the bar, and the bar's quite a bit.
Well,
bigger
for
than
the, the actual like length of it is technically 75 inches.
It's corner to corner.
Yeah, it's corner to corner. So I went and, measured here specifically, which we have 90 inches of space.
Well, the
So,
only other
it'll
reason I'm
fit.
thinking that is because, like I said, 85 inch is like 1800. I got the 65s, Samsung top of the line smart TV. I think they're like $500. What scares me is if that thing just breaks for whatever reason, that's $2,000
Mm-hmm.
versus $600.
Be
But
nice
what
to be able to
size?
sit
65.
in the back of the room and see
But
it.
that's the thing,
Yeah.
they're not gonna see it way in the back if we have a full audience at one time.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yes, Mr. Baranowski.
Okay, you guys get your packets for the upcoming meeting, like a meeting like today, would you be able to show those packets, what's actually in them to the public?
That's a question for Dawn.
You can make a FOIA request.
No, he's saying like while we're doing the
While,
meeting.
while the
What
meeting.
we're looking at.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Cause I mean, could you show them, because
Yes,
we don't know what you guys got
Correct.
in your
Yeah,
packets.
exactly.
We have no idea what.
yeah.
Yeah,
you're
I see
talking
what you're
about.
saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Because,
Just like-
because all you give them is the
Mhm.
agenda.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't get to see
Right.
it.
Right.
You know, I don't, you guys, I know, Mark, well, you guys get it ahead of time, I don't know, 3,
Yeah.
4 days, whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's a good idea.
us as the public, we don't
Right.
see it,
Right.
and if you had it on a screen like that, could you,
Well, you might not be able to see all the stuff in details, as it is presented, if it's scanned documents, even though you have a large screen TV
High
up there,
definition,
high
yeah.
definition
Yeah.
up there, you're not gonna see the fine print that's all in there unless unless someone takes the time and goes to present it,
Yeah.
which we really don't have the time to really
yeah,
put together,
but I mean,
so,
the basics,
yeah.
the basics of what, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
what-
a thought down the road to possibly incorporate some of what we have in our hands.
Yeah,
The other thought, have you looked into doing like a projector?
Some of
onto
us
the
don't hear
ceiling?
the messages.
Video projector or something like that.
'Cause I know those
Well-
are really cheap.
it is, but you have lighting issues. And that's with this style TV, you have full lights on and you don't have to dim the lights to see what's on there.
Like I said,
With a
that scares me
projector.
over 85 inch.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of flat panels burn out on me.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. There's certain TVs where you have to look straight on. You cannot look at a certain angle.
Those are
because
mostly
it's
the
just-
older style.
Yeah.
Most of
Okay.
the new ones, they're crystal clear wherever you look at it.
Whatever angle, okay.
But I think the main thing we'd want is you'd want to have a smart TV because you can actually link them right to the internet. They're awesome.
Right, yep.
You can plug it to a computer. It's like I said, just the size and that price tag is what I'm
That's
kind of
probably
pumping the
what
brakes
they-
on.
There's probably a smart TV here, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and that's like, when I went over it with him, he understood that what we would be using it for, and this type of display, and how is it going to be used, and,
The only other thing too
for
is
clarity, this was one of the ones that was the best clarity without having to dim the lights, for everybody to see.
the other thing I
and
had
connect
with,
to.
with the golf course. I bought a dozen TVs. Now those dozen, 4 of them came cracked, like severely.
What?
They're not anywhere near as durable as the tubes are. They built them very cheaply. It's like I said, $2,000. I'm having a hard time with that price tag. If it's only lasts 5 years and it burns out, we gotta spend another $2,000 on another one.
I wonder,
Yeah.
it won't get that much use here, would it? I mean, it's not like a TV in your home.
Yeah.
where you-
Right, it's
on
just
every
gonna be
day.
used for meetings and trainings
Yeah.
and presentations.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're, like at your place, where they're constantly running
Yeah, that's
every
true.
single day for business for people to watch every day. We're
As long as
talking,
nobody knocks it off too, it's gonna have to be lag bolted, right?
Oh, I know.
yeah, it would be secured, you know,
Yeah.
'cause it
We're
is
close,
heavy.
sorry.
Are you done already?
No, I'm just teasing you, Dawn. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I think the bigger screen, the better for people like me
Yeah, I have
who
a
wear these
65.
spectacles.
I have a 70 at home, and it's big, but once you get used to it, it's not that big.
Yeah. I don't think we could put too big up there, could we?
Yeah.
in that
That's the
space?
biggest that we can do.
That's what I mean.
Go big or go home.
And without being a projector, that's the biggest that we
Yeah.
can put on there, so.
Yeah.
What kind of sound does it have?
Surround
Sound bar.
It would include a sound bar,
Probably get surround
so that
sound
way it would
speakers.
project the sound rather than be coming from behind it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, so I think it's a great idea. I think it'll save our people money traveling to these conferences and
Yeah.
trainings. And
All these conferences.
now
can be
that
fun,
gas
though.
is expensive as it is.
That's exactly it.
So all we need
Go
is a
ahead.
motion
I'll second.
to move forward here, right?
Yeah,
We're
so
talking
then,
about- Don, you just walked in, we're talking about a 85-inch screen up here where we can do our MTA trainings and stuff like that.
That would be wonderful. I
Yeah.
wanted that for years.
Yeah, I know you did.
My
Well,
thought
guess
is if we
what?
go a little bit smaller, we'd save $1,000.
Mike
I will
Parsons-
tell you, we put a 70-inch at our office in Inwood City and it's too small.
Yeah.
See? 70. So we're talking about 85, but Mike thinks we could scale it down.
I just feel like the farther back you get, you can't see anything.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the thing.
And we're back here.
Right.
Right,
Mhm.
we wouldn't be able to sit, we'd have to get a magnifying.
Bigger is better, right?
I heard it.
All right.
so then the only thing on this quote then would be outside of the wall, so it would be at a cost of $3,584.
I think that's reasonable for setting it all up and
Yeah.
buying the
Yeah.
equipment, making sure that it's good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And MTA offers a ton of stuff now, virtual stuff that we can.
The other option you could do is if you put a white screen there, you could put a projector in the ceiling.
Yeah, Mike mentioned
And
that.
that's a really good
Yeah,
option,
they're
because you can make
stupidly
that
cheap.
bigger or smaller, and yeah,
That's a
they're
good
very
idea.
reasonable.
I got one on the side of my garage, and we have movie nights on
Yeah.
the weekends.
But
My
my,
son does the same thing.
yeah, but my concern is when you have full lights, we have LED lights in here that a
It
projector
would drown it out.
would be,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have the clarity, for, it would be bigger, but you wouldn't have the clarity of it.
And he says this TV, you don't have to dim the lights, right?
Right, you're gonna be
That's-
able to see
that's
it,
Great.
yeah.
You hate to put people in the dark so they can watch a training.
Mm-hmm.
What if we're taking notes or whatever, you know? We don't wanna be in a dark room watching a training on the
Wait a
screen.
minute, that's really getting good.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the quote received from American Video Transfer Incorporated to purchase and install video conferencing equipment at the Township Hall at a cost of $3,584, using ARPA funds.
I'll support that.
Sounds good to me. We have a motion and support. There's no further discussion. I'll ask Dawn to do a roll call vote.
Mark Baranowski.
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel.
Yes.
Al Titus.
Yes.
Don Beam, yes. Mike Rushing.
Everybody wants, yes.
Motion carried.
Don't get me wrong, I love big TVs, it just, that price tag.
Okay, all right. Motion carried. Let's move on tonight. We've only got a couple more things on our new business here, and I think these were all added.
Yes.
Dwayne had number 5.
Oh,
Richmond
Mini
Lamps.
EMS.
just, Don had texted me earlier today, and I asked Jeff White about this back in the fall, but COVID was pretty rapid, about getting the township's board or the thoughts for CPR and AED training.
Oh,
And I'm thinking, I talked to Jeff White tonight, he said he don't matter. He's got a lot of staff, he said whenever you're ready, he said give him a date and time.
That's a
So I
great
come
idea.
up with Tuesday, June 14th from 6 to 8.
June 14th.
If that's sorry with everybody else, there's nothing going here at the hall.
As long as there's nothing else going on.
There's
6/14.
no planning commission, no park and rec that night.
June,
Probably the
what was it, June 14th?
So
Probably second
I didn't
Tuesday
tell
of the
Jeff yet. I just Tuesday, June 14th from 6 to 8. He said about 2 hours. We done it here before, Don. What 5 years ago, 6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, COVID
And
was
it's
2 years.
free
so-
to the township.
And Parks and Rec is gonna be organizing that and putting that together. Who's organizing it?
I'll organize it. As
You
long as
gonna get,
Can you put it on the township website for me?
Yes, I can, if you get me the
you gonna get
information.
refreshments or
Yep.
something? Or at least waters?
Or we could do it at the golf course, you know, got a full
Oh,
bar.
here we go. Look at the golf course
Are you
again.
opening
We
it
always
to the
keep water
public,
here.
or
What's
just
that?
staff and your, are you?
No, it'll
opening-
be open to the public.
Still gotta get you guys in
Do you
there.
have a limit?
I wanna get
Yeah.
in there.
Free drinks down at the golf course.
No, I know Memphis Fire Department, I think they just did one.
Is there a limit to how many that
I
could,
don't know.
you need you need them to register?
We
to-
did that before Dawn. We thought 50 and we only had like 9 here.
Yeah, usually you never have to worry about
Now, is
too
it just
many.
training, or do you actually get the first responder cards?
You will, yeah, you'll get certified. You'll get the card. Yep,
It's
we
not
got
a
our
first
cards.
responder card, it's
I gotta
It's
go
a
every year
CPR
through,
Okay.
the mining safety.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I go
Yeah.
through it every year.
I don't think we should put a limit on it. I don't think, if we get 50 people,
Yeah.
we can handle it.
It's awesome, you save one life, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
can't put a
Absolutely.
price on that.
Yeah, I know Memphis Fire Department either got one come up or just did one, and it's not cheap.
Yeah,
It's like $65 a person.
I'm
But
sure.
this will be free to township residents.
Yeah.
Are you thinking like 7 PM again?
From 6 to 8,
6
6
to
to
8?
8.
Yep.
Okay. And then how did they register for that? Did they just show up?
just show up. Yep.
Okay, just show up.
So if you,
Do we wanna do like a pre-registration online, just so we can get an idea? Cause if there's 50 people, we don't got room for 50
We
CPR
could.
dummies and stuff.
can you put something on the website somehow?
Either that, or just have them call the township, and we just have a hash mark,
We
kinda
put a
like we
list.
did with,
A tentative list.
When are the newsletters going out?
They will be, we're working on them now. We will have them completed by mid-June, but they'll be sent out with the tax bills on
June
July
13, they have to, is our cutoff. We
Right.
have to have
But they'll be
it
put out on
Well,
July
I
1st.
was just
I-
thinking we can put that on
Yeah.
there, but it won't be.
Well, I just
won't
think,
be.
Dawn, if you
Okay.
could do some type of flyer or something, and then we could all share it through Facebook or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
A
that'd be
graphic,
We can
great.
little-
screenshot it.
Yep.
Yep,
If you put on the township website, we can screenshot it, and
Yeah.
then we can share it ourselves.
okay. So they-
Just word of mouth.
Yep,
Yeah, I just talked to Jeff and he said, whenever you're ready.
okay.
Cool.
So Dwayne, you're making that motion?
Sure.
Good.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to number 6, which was added also, and that was yours, I think, Mike.
Yeah, think about using KCI to do the tax bills this year. And got 3 quotes from them. The one quote was for just the tax bill. The second quote was for the tax bill with black and white newsletter. And the third quote was for the tax bill with a color newsletter. I'm not thinking we really need the color, so.
Oh, I like color.
Well, with the tax bill, it'll be double-sided, so we can have the trash millage on the, or no, fire millage on the back.
Yeah,
And,
the hearing,
well,
yeah.
the hearing and the, tax bill on the front, and that came to a cost of $1,563.31.
Really by all in all, $200 for color copies is really not that much of an increase
Now
overall.
granted, that number will probably go up slightly if we had any new houses added this year.
Mm.
Yeah, I'd like to see color. We've always done color in the past.
Well, no, you're thinking different colored paper.
Newsletter color.
Okay, but this colored is, I think they're thinking it's, like ink,
Oh, okay. Not
colored
just the
ink, not
paper.
just the paper,
Okay.
Yeah.
right? Is that
I
how they
believe so, that's
quoted
what-
you?
That was my
Are
understanding.
they
Okay.
able to use color paper just for that part?
I can ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we could do, newsletter black and white, but on colored paper.
Yeah, cause most of the newsletters.
So it stands
usually
out.
black and white.
Did they do everything from start to
They
finish?
do everything. I just send them a PDF file.
Yeah, that's always been a
And
huge task.
they use the
over there.
BSNA software as well. They also do, I believe it's 350 other municipalities just here in Michigan.
That's one of the few that are still left doing it. There's about 3 or 4 that quit the last few years. KCI still does that.
I think it's a great idea.
I just know after stuffing 1,900 envelopes, my back is shot.
Oh, we can't have that. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
What was the cost on that again?
Like I said, right now, if we do it with the black and white,
Which one do you want to approve?
maybe the second one.
The second
The
page.
second one.
And I'd like to say maybe up to a total of $1,800, just so there's a little, it won't go that high, but
But I want in my motion, I want it to be color.
So Al wants the colors.
That's my motion. It includes the color copies.
Okay.
If you wanna
What
throw
were
it
the
out, throw
quotes
it out.
for the other three?
Just for the tax bill alone, it's $1,261.53. For the black and white, it's $1,563.31. And for the color, it's $1,737.55. So it's an extra, not even, or 100.
There goes that generator.
Wait to hear them run.
That's the light itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to let Tom know.
Let me do the math real quick.
One thing, just knowing that you're buying the envelopes, you're buying the stamp, the postage,
They're doing everything.
you're buying the paper, and
Yep.
all
Oh,
that
yeah.
cost added together
Oh.
is included in this price.
This sounds like a good price, I think, when you've considered their expenses.
So for the color, it's a difference of about $175.
Yeah, that's, to me, that's
I think it's
not
worth
much,
it.
yeah.
So add some splash to the,
Wow.
And maybe they'll read it.
Yeah, and not lose it. Not shuffle it away with just another piece of black and white paper.
Okay, so then for the third proposal, for the 1735.55 is what the motion is for, Al, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct.
Full color newsletter, two-sided color on number 60 offset trim fold tax paper.
Which is actually proposal number 216943.
Yeah, when I saw what's involved, Dawn's treasurer and Mike and putting them tax bills together, it's just, let somebody do it. That is a huge undertaking. It really is. All right, we have a motion and support. You wanna do a roll call on that,
Yes.
Dawn?
Al Titus?
Yes.
Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Don Beam, yes.
Motion carried. We had, number 7 added.
Oh,
Summer
yes.
help.
Yep, summer help.
We had a gal in here last summer, did we not, that helped out?
Yes, we did.
College,
Yep.
high school?
College, yep,
student?
college student, fresh out of high school last summer. So now she is back from her first year of college. I think it's great to help young people gain skills and knowledge in working with public and stuff. She was a great help, a great asset in getting us organized, especially on the fly as I was getting things organized in the beginning. There is still lots of work to be done, especially with the website that we can have her working on, and all the tedious work from all of the forms and documents that are on the website, help finishing up finalizing the township history to get that ready for the website. We're reorganizing files in our parcel files and stuff. We need a great deal of help with that.
Filing, you had mentioned.
Yes, filing, lots and lots of filing and reorganizing of those files as well too. So there's lots of work that still can be done. So I would like to make a motion to have her come on as summer help until she goes back to college in mid-August, I think it is, for about 6 to 12 hours per week, plus helping out during vacation times that are happening during this summer at $15 an hour.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and support. Any further discussion? If not, we'll let Dawn do a roll call vote.
Dawn Beam, yes. Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
Al Titus?
Yes. Motion carried.
Okay.
We have only one item left on our new business tonight, and that's number 8, BSNA.
Yeah. I had a meeting with BSNA about the different services that they have to offer. And one of the things that kind of they brought up, they do offer like their whole BSNA module online version of it. I don't think we can really fully handle that capability at this time for that, but I think we can add some certain components of BSNA, such as the online payment services that they do offer. Right now, the public can access online their parcel information, additional tax copies, stuff that we set up in the very beginning. But we can also have them pay for permits online through e-check or by credit card. There's a couple of different ways. He went over with us how to apply those payments and how a couple of choices that we have. And those choices are pretty much in line with what we currently do by handling the process in-house. But I think we should be able to give an option out there for those who are really comfortable with making online payments and such for these types of transactions for the taxes, and get that set up. It's really no cost to us. Any cost for the credit card and in the e-check, if they go by e-check and pay their taxes, they don't get charged for that at all. So
can we pay online if we pull some type of permit as well?
Yep, we can have them do that as well too. We get a lot of phone calls, and a lot of our building permits, transaction stuff can be handled through the online portion of it as well too. So there's really no additional cost of it that way for them to be able to pay for a permit online with us. It's just a little bit change of our processes. But I think that's one option that I think we need to kind of get on board with, is the way of the future of many things. It's going to be a faster service to be able to get payments in, and a more accurate way, because they're going to see exactly what's owed on their taxes, and it will alleviate any errors on those payments and what's actually owed and where can it be paid for, because we're actually still getting payments by check for late tax payments coming here to the office, which in fact actually have to go to the county. And if they tried to pay it online, it would stop them.
And then too, I've also had a lot of them where people overpay, underpay, and then it's a ton of paperwork trying to refund that money or issue them a second tax bill.
So if they didn't want to come into the office and pay their taxes or go to the bank,
They can go
they
online.
could do it online.
They can go to, the link will be on our website for them to access BSNA. It's fairly simple. They just have to set up their own little login for them, and they can access all their property information and pay their taxes right there. So it's just another login that you have to remember. But especially when it comes to taxes, it's one convenience I think many people would jump on board.
I agree.
It's nice, it's all digital, the money's automatically deposited right into our,
Yeah, we've got options to do that. So depending on what you're comfortable with, we can either have it where we can pull it in batches if we wanted to, or we can actually have it go right directly to the bank account. I think with the credit cards, he said there was a 2-day delay before it actually hits the account, but I think
There's no cost for it.
No, well, there is a credit card cost, but that we can have that imposed on whoever is making the payment, not by us.
Oh,
The other thing was, if we didn't want them to pay for it and we picked up the tab for it, but it's really it's like a $3,000 annual fee, which is too hefty for my book.
Yeah.
But they have the e-check option. So if they're not going to pay by a bank card as a credit card form, so you won't get hit with that fee, you can pay by an e-check, which
type in
you
your routing
type in your
number.
routing number
Yeah.
and your account number, and boom,
A lot of
that's
times
the route
we
I
pay
go a lot.
insurance that way.
Yeah.
Insurance premiums, car insurance or whatever. auto.
Yep. And it's just as fast and just as effective too, so.
So what do you need from the board tonight to move forward in that?
I would like a motion to approve setting up that process for the township to accept online payments through BSNA by e-check and credit card for tax payments and permits.
I think we should offer that service to the residents. Whoever uses it is up to them. Yes, Dawn?
Is that directly BSNA, or is
Yeah.
there point and pay involved? Or
No, it's
anybody
directly
else?
through BSNA,
Okay.
right through their website. Just as if right now how we currently already have set up, we just have to activate that portion of it, that they can be able to make those payments through the BSNA website.
Okay. Do you currently accept credit cards for those items?
No, not right now, but that would have to be set up, so.
Okay.
And we could, and he even explained the if we accept them online, we can actually accept the credit cards in office as well too. We just have to
Yeah,
have the little
swipe
swiper, and then they understand that they're picking up the credit card fees. So if they pay a permit, which is not extensive like a tax payment, which may be something $200, if they want to
Sure.
absorb that additional fee, it would be on them and not us.
Okay.
We just notify them when they're doing that, we do that too.
Yep, exactly.
We'll just say, that'll be a $3 charge, or that'll be a 3%, your total will be this, do you agree? If you're in the office.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. So did you make a motion? Or do you
I'll
wanna
make
a
that motion.
I'll second it.
Do you want to restate your motion, please?
No, because I have it recorded and I'll.
All right. Okay. We have a motion on the table and support. Is there any further discussion? I'll take that as a no. And if you wanna go ahead, you want a roll call vote on that?
Yes. Dawn Beam, yes. Mike Rushing?
Yes.
Al Titus?
Yes,
Mark Baranowski?
Yes.
Dwayne Hagel?
Yes.
motion carried. All right, I think we are done tonight. Comments from the board members not already addressed?
I don't have any.
Let them know. Next regular scheduled meeting is June 7th at 7 PM, of course, right here. All I need is a motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make that motion at 8:29.
I'll second. Darn it.
All in
I was
favor?
just getting my phone out.
I see you.
Time.
I seen you getting your
Any
phone.
opposed? Motion carried.